The furry fandom has continued to surprise me ever since my official induction as a furry after making the 7 Levels of Being a Furry HD remix. It's still technically a remake. I was gonna make an intro similar to the last video where I just scream furries into the microphone, but that doesn't sound too appealing. I was also gonna go with these character stills for nostalgia purposes, but I'm kinda digging the new Fursona revamp. So here we are. Welcome to the 7 Levels of Being a Furry, Part 2.
Wow, Beta. I didn't think it was possible for your ego to inflate more than your life jacket.
Wow, Beta, you fucking son of a bitch. You're making Levels of Being a Furry, Part 2. The sequel no one asked for. It's like fucking Independence Day 2.
I thought you liked Independence Day.
Yeah, but no one wanted it. Nice hair. Looks like, every male member of every 90s boy band ever.
And every current J-pop band, except it's not changing colors every 5 seconds.
Oh, well, see, the thing is, J-pop they actually have fans.
Well, not necessarily. There are a few more things to talk about with regards to the metaphor of comparing furries to the circles of hell in the Divine Comedy. As a little recap, Dante's Inferno, or the Divine Comedy, narrates the different levels of hell and what levels of punishment await the different victims or sinners. The deeper you go down into hell, the worse the torture and sin gets. Hence, the furry levels getting worse and worse as you descend, in turn increasing your overall furriness. For example, I originally started at level 1 or 2, moved to level 3 after getting a plushie, and after going to Anthro New England, I was drop-kicked into level 5. Though there are 9 levels total, I managed to dumb down the amount to 7, hence the video that put me where I am today. But an issue I recently encountered is that I might have overlooked something, and it relates directly to the very first statement I made in this video. The furry fandom, or furry community, has continued to surprise me ever since officially joining. When I made the 7 levels video, I was in the position where I had a few minor hands-on experiences with the furry fandom, but I didn't have the full threshold. The best I can make out of that video was a mix of the minor experiences I had along with a ton of research. And with my time in the fandom, I befriended furries at a mixture of levels, and I've come to learn how furries actually function in the fandom, even if they might be bad. And through this time, I've realized that I might have overlooked 3 more potential levels. From talking with a specific group of quote-unquote furries, I have learned that there is a level 0 of being a furry known as Furrgatory. And with this entire series being a run on words, Furrgatory is just short for Purgatory for Furries. So the existence of Purgatory, or the theoretical idea, is that it's supposed to resemble the in-between for heaven and hell in the afterlife. Residents in Purgatory are considered to be not ready for heaven. It means they're not bad people, but they're not pure enough to move on to eternal happiness. The concepts of sin and how sin-ridden you are before you die are really complicated, so I'm not going to delve into that. But the key idea of Purgatory is that once you're in, you cannot possibly go down or go to hell. You can only go up. It just takes time to repent, which doesn't really make sense since you're in a timeless void. How the hell do you measure time in a timeless void? Yeah, my inner engineering and philosophy kicks in at this point. So people in Purgatory are cold and semi-suffering and are thinking, can I fucking leave already? So to put the term Furrgatory into context, this level is for a very specific subgroup of people that are considered furries because of a very minute action relating to the fandom. This level is never really self-applied, but is a level that other furries apply to non- or semi-furries. For example, someone has a wolf or a dog as their profile picture, or has some generic animal character online that they explicitly state is not their fursona, but they relate by. This individual would be at the Furrgatory level due to other furries claiming that he is a furry, while the individual has no interest in the fandom itself. Now, to help you understand this, I have a few examples of those who may be in Furrgatory. If we were to use a prime example of a furry who has died off, we could take a look at Sloth. Most of you know him and most of you hate him. He was in the previous installment of this video and he had a brutally negative opinion on furries. And even though he helped me out with that video in the past, as a means to an end I might add, I would say he's more of a Purgatory furry than anything. He has a clear distaste for the furry fandom and the people in it. He does not act in any way like furries at the 1st or 2nd level, and he specifically only uses a sloth as his online character as a means of simplifying himself. That's also one of the common traits for Furrgatory furries. The only reason they have an animal or mythical creature as their character or fursona online is for a better way of distinguishing themselves from others. I mean, take me for example. Most people who I've met or talked to online in the furry fandom recognize me mainly for my Hackmon-sona. I've had countless experiences in the past where I've commissioned a new artist that I've never met before, and as soon as I send the ref sheet to them, they immediately recognize who I am. Now I know I'm not the best example for this since I'm at like level 5 of furry hell. Thank you Majira for dropkicking me into hell. The point can be proven from person to person, regardless of whether they have a fursona or animal as their online character or not, is that it's easier to distinguish between people from one another with that method, especially in the commentary community. Ugh, the commentary community, which I was a part of. Because the commentary community is so copy and paste with either drama or talking about news, they have to use animals or animal-based characters to distinguish themselves from one another. Which that doesn't really matter, you all sound the same. But even still, in the furry fandom, most people that I know online I can distinguish from because of their fursona or because of something special they do. Hey, you know that dragon that does commentaries? You're gonna have to be more specific. Eyes blue blue he's got hair. Cothrix. Hey, you know that panda artist online? Which one? The one that speaks Spanish. Oh, Panda Paco. Blue Kangaroo YouTuber? Pakariru. Red Fox makes cringy YouTube videos. Majira.
Hey, my videos are not cringy.
What about the guy that made the 7 levels video? Absolutely unoriginal Fursona, dying channel. Well, that's me. Those are just a few examples of how this method applies. And it works as well. Try it for other furries online. It may be harder to distinguish some from others, but at the same time, it's a lot easier than distinguishing facial features. When you have some material to compare and contrast people, it's much easier to identify them. Let's show an example of how it doesn't work. Hey, Danny Sexbang, do you know that guy that, like, has, like, does the thing and looks like... Yeah, he's got ears like this. Sort of forehead like this. Do you know what he looks like? Do you know who I'm talking about?
That describes, like, literally everyone.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So now that we've talked about some examples of this method, let's take another pretty evident example of someone who was in Furrgatory but recently left the level and out of the fandom entirely. Lord Bung. Some of you may know him now as someone completely different, but back when I knew him, he had a Triceratops named Bung, who played as his online persona, not his Fursona. He only used the Triceratops as a means of establishing himself as something online. Remember, this is an animator slash artist. It makes sense for them to have some sort of character online that represents them. Like, come on, when you see a Triceratops, that's instantly more amusing than people. Now, outside of fan art pieces or animations involving the Triceratops, Bung was never used towards the furry fandom. There was never any inclination to get involved with the fandom when Bung was made. And over time, Lord Bung, the individual, moved outside of the whole animalize your character thing, especially after the amount of claims he got for being a furry. Good job on that one, guys. Today he works on SCP animations in a series called Confinement, completely separate from the Triceratops concept. Yes, he still has the Triceratops, but he does not use it as the amplification of himself. Because of this turn of events, I would classify Bung as someone who made it out of furry hell from Furrgatory. And from that, there really is nothing else to explain about the concept of Furrgatory. It's a rare set of people, but they definitely exist, even if they might not admit it. I was gonna try and find some people to speak about their experiences in Furrgatory, but 1, none of them really exist anymore, and those that do exist fell off the face of the planet, and 2, the people that could be considered in the Furrgatory level only wanted to have sex with me. Goddamn furries. I mean, I could ask for some feedback from other furries on their thoughts on this level. You know what, I'll do that. So do you guys think that this is a viable method of labeling a drastically low level of being a furry?
No. No.
No.
No!
No.
Well, no.
Oh. Well... okay then. We'll agree to disagree. But that really about does it for Furrgatory. It's a simple label for people who have some weird paradox relating or not relating to the furry fandom. Now, I believe this level makes sense, but I want to hear what you guys think of this in the comments below. I really wanted to try revamping the concept of furry hell, and I'm not really sure if I did it right with this video, so feedback is greatly appreciated. Along with that, tell me what level of furry you are. I know I got a boatload of comments from you guys in the last video talking about what level you were, but I'm still curious at what level each person might be. So please do let me know. Next time on the subject, I'll more than likely be talking about the secret 8th and 9th level, or hell, at this point I might just revamp the entire level system into one remake of a video. So let me know how that sounds as well. But thank you all for watching. Here's a shameless merch and Patreon plug. All links to those and my social media will be in the description below. And yeah, see you later, guys.
No. I am out of focus. I am largely charged, but without a life jacket. I'm gonna avoid the camera now, so,